Hey, what's going on, guys? We're back again with another video. Today, live after maybe 2 weeks or so, I'll tell you. It's been a while since I've been live, and the transfer window officially closed on Monday. I do want to break down Arsenal's transfer window, my assessment of the transfer window, and what I feel we did right, what we could have improved on, and some positions we missed out on. But before I start this stream, do make sure to like the video if you haven't already. Click on the notification bell to be notified whenever I do go live, and also be informed of my upcoming videos. This season, FPL is underway as it's officially game week 3. International break now underway. We saw Italy win today with a 3-0 win. Canada also won 3-0, which was a good game to see Jonathan David score and Ali Ahmed for Team Canada. More importantly, Calafiori getting minutes today under Italy's team, and Italy got the win today, which was nice. I think Italy need to win about. They're not top of their group, so I think Wales are top of their group, if I'm not mistaken. So right now, international football is well underway, and if you guys aren't a fan of that, then you're pretty much enjoying this break or enjoying NFL or other sports going on. NFL season officially back underway. I mean, my Cowboys, I don't want to watch them this season. It's just so much disappointment with the Cowboys. We lost by 4 to the Eagles yesterday. And with the whole Jerry Jones ownership, we all know Jerry Jones and his false promises. But this is a football stream, a UK football stream. So I am going to keep the American football talk short. Shout out 305. How are you doing today? Gyökeres got an assist, and Benjamin Sesko scored today in international duty. Yes, and I did see Rodri was on the bench for international duty as well. I think Rodri eventually, and maybe in 2 or 3 game weeks left, Rodri will be integrated back into the Man City team. Initially, at the start of the season, if you guys saw my predictions video, I did have Man City to win the League Cup. But the way Man City played last week, and now with, I believe it's Reinders getting injured, it's going to be interesting. I think it's Cherki or Reinders. One of them got injured. I believe it's Cherki. It's going to be interesting to see how City do. It is Pep Guardiola's last season. More importantly, where will Pep go? Will he, manage another Premier League team? I don't think that's going to be the case. I want to see where he's going to manage, whether it's going to be an international team or somewhere abroad. Daniel Levy left Spurs. Yes, I did hear that yesterday. That was like Diwali for Tottenham fans, even though they think it's grass is greener on the other side with Daniel Levy leaving. I still think, Tottenham struggled to attract players. We saw the situation with Morgan Gibbs-White. We saw the situation with no other than Eberechi Eze. You always return home, and that's a Hale Ender now we have underway. For me, the game against Liverpool that we lost in a 1-0 goal by Szoboszlai, we all know what Szoboszlai has to offer in the bag in terms of free kicks. And Arsenal had that exact same free kick in the first half of the game by Declan Rice. We didn't score it. They did. They capitalized on their opportunity. The game in the second half for me, though, was where the game changed when we took off Madueke, who was our best attacker. I would say we pretty much, game management-wise, left the subs too late. And then taking off Madueke when he was our best attacker, I don't think he ran out of steam. I think that's way too soon to say. And even, a lot of people said, why is Eze not starting ahead of Odegaard when Eze was seen doing extra hours in training, yet we put Marino in midfield. I do think the standouts from that Liverpool game has to be Rice, Calafiori, Madueke in the attack. And defensively, I did think in the first half we were pretty solid. Both teams didn't want to take a defeat, and we weren't going for it. But in the second half is where the game changed when Madueke was subbed off. I think they took off McAllister, and that was one of their stronger points. And then they brought on Wataru Endo, and he changed the game for them. And then we know the free kick. I mean, what a goal to be conceded by at Anfield. But I'm just glad it wasn't like a 4-0 or a 5-0 defeat. Some people had us like ridiculous score lines, and people blame Raya's positioning for that free kick. But when we scored 2 free kicks, those similar free kick style against Real Madrid. Nobody said about Courtois' positioning. Nobody said that. But because it's Arsenal, people want to make comments like that. It's Raya's positioning was bad. I actually think Raya did keep us in the game in the first half, and even our defense. That until the 60 minutes is where the game changed. You guys are going to say, like, why didn't I do a review of the game? I actually did do a match review of the game, but in the Tamil language on Vada London podcast last week, the day after the game. I did a review of the game in the Tamil language, which is my mother's, where my mother's from, Sri Lanka, the language that they speak there. So I reviewed the game there. And, the worst thing I do have to say in terms of this game is if we're playing Liverpool without Saka, with Saliba getting injured in training, in the warm-ups, and then we have Mosquera coming in. Mosquera definitely stepped up. I mean, for that young of his age, his physicality, taking on duels, winning duels, making challenges. I did think, and with little notice, like I don't think he would have thought he would come on that early in the game because of Saliba's injury. We missed Saka, we missed Saliba, and we missed Havertz. And okay, you could say Gabriel Jesus, but the key players, I'll say, without Havertz, without Saka, and without Saliba, for Arsenal to only lose 1-0 by a free kick like that, it speaks volumes. And I think there's, on Twitter, the day of the game and the day after the game, it almost felt like we watched two different games, because some of the analysis I was seeing online was, Arsenal are the only team that can score set pieces. Other teams can't score set pieces. Or I also saw Arsenal can only score from set pieces. I understand Martinelli was not creating anything from that left-hand side and often fluffing his lines or taking way too many passes and touches on the ball, losing possession quite easily. I also want to say that Madueke matchup with Liverpool's side for Kirkes. Madueke had Kirkes on ropes, and Kirkes was getting so tired of Madueke's pace and constantly trying to keep up with him. He was getting really out of breath, almost like me with my asthma. Kirkes couldn't handle the Madueke challenge, and I'm so glad to see that Madueke had a good game. I couldn't understand why we subbed him off. I've also felt the subs should have been done sooner, around the 55th minute instead of the 60th minute. I would say ideally at the 50th minute. But in context, a 1-0 loss to Liverpool without Havertz, without Saka, and without Gabriel Jesus, and Saliba missing in the warm-ups. He got injured. We brought on Mosquera suddenly. To lose 1-0 by a fluke goal like that, I wouldn't say it's a fluke. Hats off to Szoboszlai. That's a great goal. I gave him a lot of credit. I did not take anything away from Szoboszlai scoring that goal. And the challenge that Zubamendi made, if Zubamendi did not make that tactical foul, that challenge, I'm pretty sure they would have scored anyway. And like I said earlier, Arsenal had the same exact free kick Declan Rice took, but Rice didn't score it, whereas Szoboszlai, we already know he has free kicks in his locker, and they took opportunity and advantage of that. That's my end and be all with this Liverpool game. Moving on to the upcoming weeks, Arsenal will play Man City and Newcastle. It's going to be interesting. We do have Nottingham Forest as well coming up. I'm more confident this season so far going to the Man City game. I do think Rodri may make it on the bench, but it might be too soon. The international break is a good way to rest and reset. We do know that some of our players did not get called up and did not go on international duty. It's good that Saka's resting, and we did see that England team. I still don't understand why Jordan Henderson is getting picked in that England team, other than for leadership or being a team player. But actually playing at his age, I can't understand the decisions being made by Thomas Tuchel. Big up, Omar. How you doing? I mean, Omar, I sent it to you the other day as a Tottenham fan. You were celebrating that Daniel Levy has left the club. I mean, with the situation with Daniel Levy is, regardless of Tottenham getting rid of Daniel Levy, I do think the next step for Tottenham is to probably attract interest from Qatari or Saudi Arab owners. And then eventually, my point is, when you're a big player, you're not picking Tottenham. It's always been the case like that. And it's only recently that Tottenham have been qualifying for Europe, qualifying for Champions League this season because of Europa League. But when you're a big player, you're not thinking about, oh, I want to go to Tottenham. There's not really a project. There's not really a direction. I'm not disrespecting their manager. I think Thomas Frank is a quality manager. He shows a lot of respect for Arsenal. But irrespective of that, I don't think Tottenham, it's going to be grass is greener on the other side. People think it's going to be a garden of roses because Daniel Levy has left. However, I will say I wouldn't be surprised if Tottenham get brought out by Qataris or Arab ownership. Whether that's as easy as being said or done, it'll be interesting to see and definitely one to watch. Shout out Jose, how are you doing? And shout out to Hawkwind. Hope you're keeping well. I know Dan did a stream yesterday on the Daniel Levy situation, so do check that out, please, on the Gooner channel. That was a really, really well in-depth show and, straight facts. Hi, the Football Showdown. Good to see you. And hi, Ian. You're up late, man. So the next games for Arsenal, big up Bargav, thanks for joining. Rodri played the last game. Yeah, I did see he was on the bench. And for the international game, he did play for them. So I did see that. It'll be interesting to see what Tottenham do moving forward, but I still think nothing's really going to change. I'm so glad Eze, the best part is, when I said the Eze deal was still going to be on, and then I saw that he was going to Tottenham, my heart shattered. I was thinking, oh my gosh, people are going to think I'm just another one of those fake ITKs, trying to make clickbait thumbnails, clickbait articles, and then to see Arsenal hijacked Abriche Eze, that was a really good signing. And more importantly, that announcement video with Ian Wright, because Ian Wright and Eze, they signed, they the same age, they played, they're the same age, they're coming to Arsenal. So it's a good resemblance. And also Ian Wright came from Palace. So that was just chef's kiss. It was awesome. It was a good signing. And I would have wished he started on, again, instead of Marino in the Liverpool game. But, I'm not going to cry over spilt milk. I'm still going to say this, some of the reactions I saw on Twitter, especially from pundits, and I know Gary Neville was on commentary, so that was terrible in itself. But sometimes I felt like we were watching two different games, because some fans made it seem like, and it wasn't really Arsenal fans. It was even rivals and people prying up to rivals, ass-kissing rivals. It almost felt like we watched two different games. I know after the 60 minutes, and I understand completely in that first half, Arsenal were not really creating anything down the left-hand side. Martinelli has a significant confidence issue. I'm not even sure if it's a confidence issue or if it's a lack of motivation or what the situation exactly is. And now that we have Gyökeres in the team, we're kind of trying to adjust the system, but the same thing's happening. Gyökeres is not getting service from the midfield. And regardless of, even if we sign someone like Alexander Isak, if the striker is not creating chances for themselves, the chances has to come from the midfield. The creativity has to come from the midfield. Regardless of what midfield we play, it's been a consistent issue with our midfield not creating opportunities, not creating enough opportunities to feed the striker. And regardless, I'm not downplaying Gyökeres. I'm not saying he's a garbage signing, but I'm saying regardless of what striker we had up front in that game specifically, and in other games, you can see even last season, if the striker is not getting service from the midfield, that's going to be an ongoing issue. And then people are overreacting over this free kick that we conceded. I understand we conceded a free kick like that, but don't discredit Liverpool or don't take credit away from such a brilliant goal. That's why we like football. We're not just Arsenal fans, we're football fans. At least I am. I'm an Arsenal fan, don't get me wrong. I love Arsenal. It's what I breathe, it's what I live by. But I like football in general. And you have to respect goals like that are beautifully created like that. So, hats off to Szoboszlai for that goal. We know he had it in his locker. And I just think it was very overreactionary on social media. And I'm not singling anyone out. I'm not putting names out there. I'm just saying my general analysis of how I felt of the game. Now, in terms of Mikel Arteta in that game, after the 60 minutes, I do want to say I do think our game management could have significantly improved. Some of the substitutions he made, I was questioning why did he take off Madueke when he was the best attacker on that pitch for the 60 minutes. The game changed in that 60-minute mark, and we just it's a shame of that we conceded to such a beautiful goal like that. But to get these kind of big fixtures, category A fixtures out of the way early on in the season, it's not like it's the end of the world. People are reacting like Arsenal have lost the league because we lost to Liverpool. And I don't think that's the case. I do know that to win the league, you have to keep your games close. And last season, we had a lot of draws. Some of the draws were questionable with ourselves, our own performances, whether it be defensively, whether it be our midfield not stepping up. Not just Odegaard, but a lot of our players, our key players, didn't get 15 GA that season. Havertz was injured, and he was one of our top goal scorers. And he was injured for most of the season. Saka got injured. Gabriel Magalhaes got injured. Now, with other cup competitions coming up, we have League Cup, we have FA Cup, and we have Champions League fixtures. For me, my concern is that our squad is thinner than it was last season. But with that being said, we have Max Dalman in the team involved. People are overhyping Max Dalman, and I'm not saying he's a bad player, but at 15 years old, you don't want to put so much pressure on the player and mismanage their development or their game time. These are the type of things that happen to some academy players where you overplay them and then they get run to the ground, and then you see why they retire at a young age, or they get injury prone. We saw that with Jack Grealish before. Not Jack Wilshere. And speaking of Jack Grealish, he got another assist. I think it was 2 assists on the weekend. Guys, I don't even want to start about Fantasy Premier League because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I wouldn't even be doing Fantasy Premier League if I didn't have a league. If I could leave my own league and still keep the league running, because I'm embarrassing myself. I'm like 400 in my own league. And I think every time I do my fantasy team, I don't take a hit most of the time. I haven't played any chips yet, as it's only game week 3. Yet, why is my team so good on paper and so ass when it comes to performance? I'm not even joking, guys. And let me screen share. I had more points on my bench with 2 players, and one of them being a Leeds player because they drew to Newcastle. I had more points on my bench than I did in my entire fucking midfield. That's embarrassing. That's I think it's time I call it a wrap with FPL, guys. I don't know what to say. I think I'm doing a Ruben Amorim here. I'm not overthinking it, but I'm overconfident. And it's definitely not paying off. I'm embarrassed that I'm losing in my own league. And not only that, I have my family league with my cousins, and they're taking the piss out of me. So where exactly are these bragging rights supposed to come from? Because this shit ain't working out. This is my team from game week 3 before the international break. Sanchez, good one for Chelsea. And again, Joao Pedro is showing levels to the Premier League so far. And hats off to him. Credit when and where it's due. I had Tottenham in there with Porro, Nico Williams, and Anderson. Pretty much a template defense. And then I had Salah, Semenyo, Cunha, and Rodgers. Salah didn't do anything. And of course, when I think Salah's going to do something, I captained Chris Wood thinking, oh, they're playing West Ham. They're going to dominate. And they got spanked, belt to ass, Chris Wood and co. Then I had Watkins. I thought Villa were going to do good, and that obviously wasn't the case, but it was nice to see Unai Emery lose. And then, as I told you guys, my bench was much better than my midfield and my defense combined. So my point is, if you're playing FPL, don't have standards or expectations like I do, because every week I'm getting messages, oh, Melina, you're crap at FPL from friends. And they're not even making transfers to Friday or Saturday before the deadline. If it's a Saturday deadline, I'm here doing YouTube videos, looking up who players to watch list and whatever. I'm here doing the most in terms of tactics. This shit looks amazing on paper. Everybody's saying, yo, you have a good team. Your team's going to bag you very good points. And look, I'm finishing below average for 2 game weeks in a row so far. But with that being said, if you guys want to be a part of the misery with me, and that's right, if you want to be a part of the misery with me, I'm currently 949 in my own league. But if you want to be part of the misery with me, the FPL is free to join. It is a prize league. There's over 1,700 people in the league. But if you guys want to join, I'm going to put the code in the comment section below. More so than misery, there is a prize for the top 2 winners of the league. This is the 4th season I'm running the league this season. And this is the 4th season I'm like on 500 to 700 range. I've never seen my name higher than that in my own league, other than the name being league administrator. That's probably the highest I'll see my username, because I made the league, not because I'm winning it by points. But anyway, if you want to join, this is the league code. You'll be entered for the next game week 4 after the international break. I'm glad Canada won today. That put a smile on my face to see Jonathan David score. We're still waiting for Alphonso Davies to recover. I think it's going to be a while, as we know he got injured. And hi, Lone Star, how you doing? Jose, how you been? He says, everyone know once that lineup came out, we weren't getting nothing. My concerns was, why didn't Arteta try to play Eze in the Odegaard role? Why wouldn't you test that out? Is it because it's a big game like Liverpool, you didn't want to test it out? But when Eze came on, he offered more than what Martinelli offered in the whole game time that Martinelli had compared to Eberechi Eze. Jose says, once I saw the lineup, I put my new kit back in the closet and the beer back in the fridge. The momentum was dead. I'm glad we didn't concede by more than 1 goal. And as Ian was saying earlier, people were questioning Raya. I don't think it was an issue with Raya's positioning. I know a lot of people were spreading that narrative online, and I already debunked that earlier on in the stream. Hi, Jordan. Big up to you. You're higher than me in the league. Well, that's a compliment. I don't know how to take that, Ian, because I'm having a terrible game week. And every time I prepare my team, it's like middle of the week. I wait for all like the midweek EFL Cup, Carabao Cup games to be finished, so I don't get injured players or like any players that are flagged. I even banked a transfer preparing my team. Yeah, I still couldn't get a proper game week in. Anyway, it seems like FPL is just not for me. Hi, Dick. Hi. He says, I don't want to see Martinelli for a while. I can't even say your name because it's a bait name, so I'll just say DC. DC says, I don't want to see Martinelli for a while. I agree. You have a really funny username, but I can't pronounce that as I'm not trying to get name baited. Hi, Cole. How are you doing tonight? Hope you're having a good Friday evening. Ian, how's Hibbs doing? I haven't been following the last couple of games with Hibbs, but Rosie's been keeping me up to date with Rangers. I think Rangers are still looking for a new manager to take over. And let me know, guys, what you think of the West Ham situation with Graham Potter. I think his days are very much closely numbered. And maybe Frank Lampard could get the West Ham job. There was rumors of Frank Lampard leaving Coventry and could get the West Ham job. Of course, it's just paper talk. Please don't take my word for it. Lone Star says, my concern was, why did we put a nipper endowment on with 6 minutes remaining to rescue a game after spending 260 million? I need to talk about that point. Great point that you mentioned, Lone Star. When Arteta brought on Max Dowman, for me, that was like taking the piss. There was no need to put that pressure on a 15-year-old kid when we're chasing equalizer. When we're chasing an equalizer, we're struggling. We were struggling. We were chasing an equalizer, and bringing on a 15-year-old kid, for me, it screamed as if we wanted to win. We wanted Max Dowman to help win us a penalty, like he done in the previous game against Leeds, or another game from that. For me, I didn't think that was tactical. I also think it was more so for him to win us a penalty, but I didn't see the valid reasoning for it. Family-run business. Oh, nice. So it just sounds like a bait name, so I can't say it. But big up, DC. Nice that you have a family business. Let me know what you do, and I'll promote it here. Omar, thank you for the super chat. Big up to you. I'll call you in a bit. You're probably at work, man. I'm surprised you tuned in because I know it's still work over there. Somebody mentioned Russell Martin. Rangers are dismal under Russell Martin. I'm surprised he's still in the job. I don't know what's going on, but I'm hearing Rosie told me that they're still looking for new managers. So are they just keeping this guy until they get a new manager? Cider business. Okay, nice. Um, Most of the Rangers players are in group therapy. They probably provide therapy services on a discounted rate for the Rangers players. But guys, tomorrow the Arsenal women's season officially starts underway. So I'm looking forward to that. And if you guys don't already know, Alicia Russo signed a new contract extension at Arsenal. Kickoff tomorrow is at 1:30 UK time. Arsenal women will play London City Lioness. It's going to be a good game, and it's at the Emirates. So do go early if you are going to the game. Have a good time. Stay safe. I hope to get myself back to the Emirates very soon to one of these early fixtures, depending on work. I wasn't able to go to the preseason friendlies, so I would love to go to one of these early fixtures. And nothing beats Champions League under the lights. Ian, I'm addressing you because if you ever need help with a ticket, and you're a close friend of mine like Ian is, you know I got you. And hopefully, nothing too overpriced because I don't do the ticket touting or resale prices. I just like us regular fans, people that like to watch our team, go and support the team, have a good time. That's what it's about. Creating community, meeting like-minded people, connecting with gooners across the world, even on social media. So I'm excited for the women's game tomorrow. Hi, Anthony. How you doing? Early kickoff for Liverpool ladies. Yeah, Arsenal women are European champions, not once, but twice. The only Premier League team, the only women's soccer league team to have done it twice is the Arsenal ladies. And can we just say, I want to fire and rehire Renee because she is that amazing of a manager. We should have got rid of Jonas Andeval a long time ago. But some things are better late than never. Hi, Gary. How you doing, Rollins? Hope you're having a good Friday. Hopefully you'll be live tomorrow on the WTT. I did see your Monday show, which was good. I know you've been busy with family, so hopefully you're having a good time and a good weekend leading up to the weekend, at least. NFL is back underway, so that's quite exciting, except if you're like me and a Cowboys fan. Because we just lost yesterday to the Eagles. I didn't expect to win, though. Shout out Hawkwin. Hi, Nippin. How you doing? It's been a long time, Nippin. You got to message me. I don't even know if you're still doing streams, Nippin. I ain't seen you live in a minute. Ryan, I just saw your message. Thanks for watching. I know some of you guys are watching on Twitter. I appreciate all of you tuned in. I just thought I'd go live because it's been a while since I've gone live, and I kind of wanted to do a recap sort of summary stream. CD Lamb couldn't catch a cold. Man, he couldn't. Yeah, you're right. I mean, oh yeah, you're from Texas. So do you support the Cowboys too? I don't even know if I ever told you before that I support the Cowboys. So I used to live in Texas for a short time, in San Antonio and Austin, and then I moved back home. But in that time, a few of my friends over there introduced me to NFL. I had no idea about NFL. I never thought I'd get into NFL, but it was quite interesting once you understand it. And lo and behold, I chose the Cowboys. I mean, a team that's like the Maple Leafs, that's like Toronto FC, nothing but disappointment. And with Jerry Jones, I mean, the media loves Jerry Jones because of the amount of revenue he generates for that team and for the NFL organization entirely. But in terms of winning things and like a project, the Cowboys always take one step forward and 5 steps back. And I just can't be asked with it. Before you guys ask me if I'm doing NFL fantasy, you guys can kick rocks because I can't even do Premier League fantasy properly. The only fantasy I'm good at is NBA fantasy. And that's because I watch a lot of basketball. It's a lot easier to navigate. And I'm on top of, keeping up with deadlines, keeping up with injury updates because I watch a lot of basketball. I do watch a lot of Premier League, but come on. I'm just doing a Ruben Amorim right now, and it's not working out in my fantasy Premier League team. UT fan Melina, Cowboys are hopeless. Okay, I like watching college basketball too and college football. College football is a bit boring though, and even the NFL preseason that just ended, Lone Star, I didn't really watch it. I found NFL preseason so boring, but now that the regular season is underway, more importantly, next month hockey is going to be back underway in October. Not long to go now till the hockey season starts. I hope to go to some games when the hockey starts next month. Next week on Saturday, it's my birthday. Last year for my birthday, I did a birthday stream with you guys, which was awesome. You know, we just chilled back and shot the shits. It was nice. I kind of just chilled out and I went out with friends, with family for dinner, my sister and my cousin. It was a good time. But I did a stream. So this year, I'm not sure if I'm going to do a stream, but maybe I'll try to post something like a small short or something. But I'm turning 28 next Saturday. So shout out to all the Virgos like me. I know this is completely unrelated to football, but I just wanted to give you guys some updates. I'm looking forward to the hockey starting next month. And then we'll get into basketball season. I did see the Raptors preseason. I am a Raptors fan because that's my local team. Most of you guys know that by now. I've done basketball content on my channel a long time ago. And thanks to everyone who's tuned in tonight because I know it's been about 2 weeks since I've gone live, so I appreciate all of you. Hope you're well. Hi, Kermit. How you doing? I think Dan will be live on Sunday. A lot of people are like, when's Arsenal going to come back? It's quite boring without Arsenal, but I don't mind the break. Like, I think our players quite need it to recover, so especially the injured players. I hope Bukayo Saka will be back soon. I think he'll be back by the Forest game. And hopefully, you know, he has a full recovery. We know that Havertz underwent surgery. He'll be out for about, I think it's 3 to 5 months. I think it's 3 to 4 months. Correct me if I'm wrong. I agree 100%. Saka needs to rest and recover. It's been a couple of seasons now. We've ran him to the ground. I also do want to mention that Hincapié signing from Bayer Leverkusen. He's quite a young player. I hope he develops well physicality-wise. And yes, Ian, happy birthday to Bukayo Saka. It's also a friend of mine's birthday today, sharing the same birthday with Bukayo Saka, which is quite interesting. So happy birthday to Bukayo Saka, Lil Chili, and Starboy. Hi, Mabos. How are you doing? I was talking sensible topics before. This is not a senseless stream, Mabos. But how are you doing? How's your Friday night going? In terms of outgoings wise, so when I was talking about the Hincapié situation, I do think that Hincapié is definitely going to be a squad player and needs time to develop. He's quite young, raw. I haven't seen him play at all in Leverkusen. I've seen some clips, but clips don't show a huge picture of, their team. I did see he played against Paraguay in the Ecuador-Paraguay match, and I wish him all the best at the Arsenal. In terms of Arsenal's outgoings, Zinchenko's at Forest. What's upset me, and it's not really upset, what bothered me or like annoyed me, is that Zinchenko has played in the Premier League, played in the Champions League with City. I know he's on high wages, but a lot of teams wanted him at the start of the window, including Galatasaray and other Premier League teams. Yet we still couldn't even get a single pound for Zinchenko. And he's gone to Nottingham Forest on loan. He won't be eligible to play against Arsenal when we face Nottingham Forest due to parent club loan. And then this Reece Nelson situation. Guys, I've told you guys multiple times on my stream, if you guys have been watching me for a while, that Reece Nelson prefers to stay in London because he has family that depends on him. And he's not really keen on moving out of London. Some people get homesick. We saw with the Torreira situation when he moved to a completely different country. But it's such a shame that Arsenal always struggle to sell players. I mean, If Zinchenko played for Chelsea, I'm sure they would have got like at least 10 mil for him, you know. But for some reason, Arsenal have always struggled to sell, with our highest sale being Oxlade-Chamberlain to Liverpool, and then one of those also being Emil Smith-Rowe to Fulham. Reece Nelson has now gone on loan. It'll be interesting to see how he does. For me, that's a player we could have easily sold. I still don't understand what's holding him back. I mean, Brentford have him on loan. I think it's a loan with an option or an obligation to buy. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's an obligation to buy that Brentford have. So I just want to see how he does there. And you can't even say he's a player that needs to develop because he's 25 years old. And at the time in the academy, as someone that likes to watch the academy, when there was Smith Rowe, Nelson, and Asaka, Reece Nelson was hyped about everywhere. People said Reece Nelson was going to be the one out of the three to shine the most and to develop first. But it's complete opposite. Even with Nketiah, people said Reece Nelson was so good. He was raved about even from former Arsenal players. But it's just such a shame that whether it be his family holding him back or even himself, I know it's a loan with an option or an obligation to buy. We'll see how he does at Brentford. I mean, Brentford also lost Wissa to Newcastle. And then, of course, we saw the inevitable with Alexander Isak going to Liverpool for 130 million plus add-ons. Hi, Chris. How are you doing? How are you guys doing this season so far, Chris? It's been a long time since we chatted. I do see a lot of your posts on Facebook. How's it like being a grandpa? And my regards to Hannah as well. I'm so glad you still remember I'm an Arsenal fan, but I'm still an honorary Fox supporter. I hope Leicester do well this season. And I'll see you guys in the Prem eventually, hopefully when you get back up in the Premier League again. Chris? Anthony says, that's right, Melina, a loan with an option to buy for Reece Nelson. Yes, I figured it was either an option or an obligation to buy, but I know initially they were inquiring about a dry loan, like he didn't want to do an option or obligation to buy. But I knew right away, ever since like Arsenal wanted even 20 million or 10 million for him, I knew right away we're not getting anything for him, especially with the restrictions of him wanting to stay in London. I know Fulham wanted him, but I'm not sure what happened there. Fulham seemed like they wanted Raheem Sterling, and then I think they chose interest in Raheem Sterling over Reece Nelson, which is quite shocking because Reece Nelson is much younger than Sterling, and seems like Fulham scouts have not seen Raheem Sterling play for Arsenal last season. Any news on Jayden Bogle? No news on Jayden Bogle. I mean, international break now for Leeds, and I think Leeds definitely want the break after being trashed by Arsenal and then drawing to Newcastle. I mean, the draw to Newcastle wasn't so bad, but I know they got eliminated in the cup as well, even though Jayden Bogle scored. Definitely eye-captivating, Jayden Bogle. Got Arsenal finishing second this season. Me too, Chris. I said Arsenal would finish second this season. But the caveat I did say on my channel was Arsenal would not go trophyless this season, even though I know you guys, when you think of a trophy, you think of major honors like a Premier League or a Champions League. I said Arsenal would win the FA Cup this season, and I said Man City to win the League Cup. Champions League, I said PSG would win. And then Premier League, I said Liverpool would retain the Premier League. I know I'm happy Liverpool did not get Guehi from Crystal Palace. That deal collapsed because they couldn't get the replacement for Guehi in time. I thought Palace could get an extension, but I don't think that's happened. So thank God, because Liverpool defense looking shaky. Konate's head doesn't look like it's in the right place. Pause. But it just looks like his mind is elsewhere. Hi, Mabos. He says people are saying the season is done. Mabos, this is probably one of the best comments you've ever said on my channel. The Liverpool game really hurt a lot of people. I also want to say, Mabos, like with this comment, I think a lot of people are overreacting with the Liverpool game, and it felt like we watched two different games, as I said earlier. Just because, like, the way we performed, you have to put context into the players we had missing. I'm not taking I'm not giving over credit to Arteta or to the team, because it wasn't a really poor game, but it wasn't a really bad game either. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Is my point is, I'm happy with the Giovanni Leone transfer. I know Jamaica are playing today, so hopefully they win their game. Jordan, we have Forest next and Man City after. Yes, Forest is on my birthday. Arsenal will play Nottingham Forest. Will be interesting to see how we do. I'm looking forward to that game. I wish I could be there, but I think I have work commitments. Big up, Tyrell. I just see you live on TikTok with Jordan. Big up to you every time, bro. Just hope you give Liverpool a fight this season. Boring when one team runs away with it 100%. And, you know, that's what I want from my team, to put up a fight. Even if we don't win the league, put up a good fight and challenge challenge Liverpool head to head. Mr. Zhao, how are you doing? I'm surprised you caught my stream live. Normally, you're not really here late nights. How are you doing? Hopefully, you've been well. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I haven't been live in a few weeks. Um, I had some stuff going on, and I kind of lost motivation, if I'm being honest. I do still watch all the games, even if I'm not streaming, but kind of just lost a bit of motivation, and it's nice to go live again. Definitely refreshing. He says, "Hi Mel, do you know if the board really did tell Arteta he has to win trophies?" I don't think so. I don't think that's true, but and people are saying Berta will run Arteta out. I don't think that's the case at all. I think and if Arteta was to walk away, he'd lose the money that he has left, because he has a year left. He has time left on his contract. Take care, Chris. Thank you so much for joining. Please, guys, check out Leicester Till I Die. A very level-headed Leicester fan, but also does Premier League content. And I've been on his channel before, which was a while ago, but it was awesome. Thanks a lot, Chris. We do have to talk soon. I say that every time. I definitely have to catch up. It's been way too long. Hopefully you have a good weekend ahead. Thank you for joining as well. I appreciate it. 3 games and no one has won or lost the title. I agree 100%. I think people saying that Arsenal lost the league, the league was over when we lost to Liverpool, is very overreactionary, very over the top. And for me, that comes across like either, you're doing it for clicks, you're doing it for reaction, or you just can't think for yourself and you're giving other people's opinions, other people's reactions, other people's statements. I respect people's difference of opinion, but come here with proper, valid points. The league is not lost over one game. I don't think that's the case. Maybe 3-4 losses, you can then talk about, it's probably hard to catch up the league. And it depends on when these games are being played. Right now, we're having these tougher Category A games, like City, like Liverpool, in the beginning of the season versus in the end of the season. I remember we did a watch along together on Chris's channel. We on that game. I don't remember. What? You came on Chris's channel before? I don't remember that. It's been a long time, Anthony. It's been 5 years since I've known you, and I can't get rid of you, even though how hard I've tried. It was Arsenal Leicester. So Leicester always holds a close place in my heart when we play Leicester, especially at the King Power Stadium. If you guys don't know, a few years ago, a very close friend of mine passed away from liver disease. I did a tribute to him on my channel. And if you guys know and follow me on my social media, you would know about this. I'm going to share it. But whenever we play Leicester, when they were in the Prem last season, I'll never forget that. So that always hold, that team I have a lot of respect for. This is what I'm talking about. When we played Leicester at King Power Stadium a few years ago, a friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, was ill with liver disease, and he was still in his late 20s. He had a lot of life to live. But unfortunately, he had very, very serious underlying health conditions. He had 6 transplants since he was a kid. And he was in hospice care. And we were talking on StreamYard one day just after the stream, and he was like, Mel, my last wish is I want to hear from Martinelli, my favorite player. And I know right now Martinelli is having the stinkiest performances, terrible on the left wing. And it's just very, very upsetting to see his downfall in terms of, a lack of confidence, lack of motivation, being so poor. And the game against Leicester at the King Power Stadium, Martinelli scored, and he dedicated the goal and the win. Well, he dedicated his goal to my friend, and like that, definitely I'll never forget in my life, because I've never done something like that in my life, and no one's ever asked me to do something like that for them. And when Steven had asked me at the time, I said, Steven, like, what the hell are you asking me? And I actually said that. I'm like, Steven, who the hell do you think I am? I was like, why are you asking me that? Like, that's impossible. It's almost like someone asking you to contact Fabrizio Romano to hear transfer news exclusively before anyone else hears it. Like, it was like over the top, reaching over the top. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, I can't do this, Steven. And I told him straight up, because I'm not the type of person to give people false promises. But anyway, long story short, the King Power Stadium and Leicester, whenever I see Leicester fans, or whenever I see the Leicester fixture, whenever we play Leicester, I always think of this moment in my life. It was the best thing I've ever done on YouTube. The biggest thing I've ever done in my life is to help grant someone, one of their last wishes in life when they knew they were dying. So it's definitely something that stands out to me. So I just wanted to mention it, because whenever I see Chris in the chat and we talk about Leicester, it's always in the back of my mind. So rest in peace, Steven. I know some of you guys known him. Static, big up to you. Thank you for joining. I haven't spoke to you in a long time, and I know I say that to a couple of people. I've been such MIA, or like busy with life, getting back to work. I definitely have to catch up with you. Thank you for joining, Static, and thank you for giving your time. Static says, sorry, I respectfully disagree. No problem about that. Liverpool were there to finally go and win away, as they were not great defensively. I agree 100%. A missed opportunity, big love and respect always. Yeah, I agree 100%. And I said in the beginning of my stream, my concerns in that game was definitely game management and the substitutions that were done, which goes hand in hand with game management. But I do want to say, some people saying like the league was lost when we lost Liverpool, I think that's a bit far-fetched, in my opinion. Martinelli, he came through, Mel. Great job. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. And I remember that day like it was yesterday, because we just beat Leicester and I had family over at my house. I think it was like my dad's birthday or something. Family was over at my house visiting, and my phone was like beeping nonstop. And I'm here thinking, like, who's doing this? Like, no one really messages me like that. Like, people don't really bother me like that. And group chats I have muted. So I was like, what's going on? And then when I saw that, like everyone tagging me, I'll never forget that day in my life. And I know Steven's family very like hold that very near to them. They even have it printed in an album. When I went to Steven's house after he passed away, I went with Luca to Norwich, and I met up with Steven's sister and mom, and we saw the printout of all the messages and all the love Steven received when he was ill, like near the end of his life. It's in a photo album in their home. It was nice to like look at that. Judging on how you spoke about him, he was extremely mentally strong and inspirational. Yeah. When we helped grow his channel as Fitly TV, and he said like he didn't want to do this for money, for YouTube revenue or whatever. It was more so to spread awareness of certain conditions that people think liver disease is only because you drink a lot of alcohol. He didn't even drink alcohol. But for him to be diagnosed with a rare condition like that at such a young age, he wanted to spread more awareness, and for us to like take on that project, and for me to see like a whole different perspective of life. It definitely put things into a better perspective for me growing up. I was in like my young 20s then, not really sure. I wouldn't say I took things for granted, but definitely learned more in life as I helped Steven out with his situation. I still got all my Christmas cards from Steven. Arsenal one. The rest of them was rude ones. Me too. I kept them too. Paraguay President Santiago Pena has declared a public holiday in the country to mark the national team's return to the World Cup for the first time in 16 years. Wow, that's really good. Hi, Mr. Tom. Really good show today on the wrestling with Sam Greenwood. I did see that. Dylan, big up to you. Thanks for the super chat. Are you live or are you in Charlie's chat? Because I know Charlie's doing Among Us. Mr. Tom, really good show. I was there earlier, and it was nice to see John on there for a change. It's been a while since I've seen John. I've not been watching on this. I've not been able to watch on the stoop as much, so I've missed seeing John on the stoop. But it was nice to see all three of you talk wrestling, and of course, nobody more esteemed to talk about wrestling than Mr. Tom. So, Mr. Tom, my massive salute and shout out to you. I hope you enjoyed the Jaws movie today. I'm looking forward to watch that hopefully sometime this week or next week. There's a new Conjuring movie out that I do want to see. It's spooky season, Halloween coming up, and I love horror movies. I know Maliha, she's not watching this right now, but she might watch this on replay. Some people can't stand horror movies, but I'm looking forward to see The Conjuring. I did see Weapons, and I did see the movie called Together. I liked Weapons better than Together. It was really Weapons was a really good movie, really good storyline. Thank you for the super chat, Dylan. I appreciate it. Hopefully you're back to uploading on your channel again. I always say you're slacking on YouTube, but hey, good Liverpool fan here. Charlie has a lot of Liverpool friends, but most of them are quite sound. Anyway, before I wrap up the show, as I've been rambling for nearly an hour, and thanks to everyone who joined, because I didn't plan on going live like most of the time. I go live. Appreciate all of you watching this on replay. Just a quick recap on Arsenal, talking about international duty, the Arsenal women's game officially starting tomorrow for the season. We face London City Lioness at 1:30 UK time. That fence needs replacing behind you. I'll do it for a good price. It's not broken, but I left the garden door open because my sister's dog goes in and out of the house. Anthony Herbert, you can definitely come do my patio. I'd love to have a landscape patio, and maybe even a swimming pool would be cool, but it's quite expensive. And with the way we have winters here, you have to take care of a pool and close everything off, and it's a lot of work. Jose, are you working or are you chilling for the evening? Hopefully work's not kicked your ass today. I found that Weapons was boring. Really? A lot of people said, okay, so there was like mixed reviews. Some people said Weapons was like the same storyline, typical storyline over and over again. I did like the humor in it. I did think it wasn't really like horror, but it was more gory. 2 hours of my life I won't get back. Really? You didn't like it? I'm surprised. I loved it. So I'm gonna go see the new Conjuring movie. I hope it's good. It has good reviews, and then hopefully I'm in South Carolina until tomorrow doing a home renovation. Holy! Oh, so you're gonna be busy this weekend. You'll miss the NFL, but at least there's no Arsenal game because you won't be missing that. I found Weapons was boring. I'm surprised. Lone Star escaped again. Jose, been here since Wednesday. Oh, I had no clue. When you say you was working like another stream, I thought you were just doing like your regular job. I didn't know you were out of the state or city. Here, like summer's over now, so just getting into fall. And Liverpool fans, we are over at FTT 100%. Shout out to FTT. I was just about to ask you guys before I wrap up the stream. The Arsenal ladies are playing tomorrow, and True Gooner will most likely be doing a watch long. So please check out his channel. He does very good Arsenal content. He's a good friend of mine. A very nice guy, very genuine, down-to-earth guy. I've met him at the Emirates before. I'm looking forward to going to games this season. I am targeting the Arsenal Bayern game, but I also do want to go see Atletico Madrid. I know it's not the best performance to go see Atletico Madrid with the way they fall down like flies every 2 seconds. But I think I am going to go to one of these early Champions League games the minute I can get leave approved from work, time off approved from work. Now that summer's over, traveling shouldn't be as expensive as it was in the summer. I had some weddings earlier this summer. I was in Switzerland and Germany. As some of you guys know, I wasn't uploading. But I'll be back probably midweek or later on, maybe even my birthday or like after my birthday on Sunday. I know Arsenal play Forest, so maybe I'll do a match reaction for the Forest game, or I'll do a watch along depending on it. But Saturday, I'm having a small dinner at home with family, and then Friday, I'm going out. I know Kara shares the same birthday as me and she watches me on Twitter, so I'll wish her on Saturday. Big up Yasser. Salam alaikum. Hope you're well. Hope everyone. I'm just wrapping up the show, Yasser. It's been an hour. I've just been talking football and NFL, NBA coming up, and just a quick chat about the international break as well. Talking about Arsenal's transfers, incomings, outgoings. Pretty much a random stream, but thanks everyone who's joined. I appreciate all of you for tuning in and for your time today. Have a good, wonderful rest of your evening or weekend, those of you in the UK. Thank you, Mr. Zhao, for joining. Thanks to Mr. Tom, Yasser, Lone Star, Hawkwind, Kermit, Ribbit, Jose, Tyrell, Jordan. Thanks to Dylan. Thanks to Omar for the super chat. Lone Star, hopefully you're enjoying the nice weather in Texas. I do miss it there a lot. Mabo, salute to you. Good to see you. And Static, I have to catch up with you. It's been a long time. Weers, thank you for joining. And Rollins, Gary, hopefully you're live tomorrow, Gary. It'll be good to see your show. Bargav, appreciate you joining. Stay safe, everybody. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone. Appreciate everyone for tuning in on Twitter. The Football Showdown, Ian, DS, Ansar, Ishaku, and 305. Thanks to everyone who tuned in today. Appreciate your time. I really needed this more to just chat with you guys about Arsenal and share some of the thoughts, because I did a review of the Liverpool game in Tamil, but most of you guys won't understand what I said. So it's nice to do a mini breakdown of that in English. Take care, everyone. And before I end the stream, hopefully all of you have a good weekend. Arsenal will be back next week. I'm looking forward to the game. It's going to be good. And more importantly, hopefully these injured players do have a safe recovery. Hi, Andrew. How are you doing? What do you make of the next 5 games? All right, Mubos, I'm giving you the last question. So our next 5 games first is Forest. 3 points, Forest for me. Man City, I'm going to say 3 points confidently. City have not been playing well. I know Rodri's back, but I'm going to say 3 points. Arsenal are at the Emirates. I do think we can do it. I know they have Donnarumma now. It's not going to be a walk in the park. I'm not expecting it to be, but I'm going to say 3 points. Newcastle, St. James's Park has not been our strong suit. I am going to say a draw in that game. And then Arsenal, West Ham, I expect 3 points in the West Ham game. And then Fulham, I also expect 3 points. So I think the only game in our next 5 that we would draw is with Newcastle. I know Newcastle, the striker situation they have now, they do have Wisa and another striker they signed. I can't pronounce his name properly, but I think it's nothing to worry about in terms of the last 5 games. Nobody should be pressing the panic button this early in the season, is my opinion. Andrew says, how confident are you that Gyökeres will be a hit, and what does this mean for the other attacking players? They really need to change the system. For me, and I said this earlier in the stream, Andrew, Gyökeres needs service. Any striker that we have needs service from the midfield. If our midfield is not performing to the levels we need, whether it be Zubimendi, whether it be Norgard coming back from injury, Rice, even if we're playing Marino, which I don't think we should be doing. Sorry for the background noise, but I do think it's we're gonna have to change the system to suit Gyökeres' strengths, which I don't know if Arteta is going to do, but more so for me, it's the midfield service that Gyökeres needs. He's not really a striker that creates chances for himself. Isak is a better player than Gyökeres overall, all-rounded, 100%. And Isak is younger than Gyökeres. Isak was our number 1 target for 3 seasons. We flirted around with wanting Isak even before he came to Newcastle. We could have signed him, and we didn't. We signed Jesus instead. And I'm not saying that's a bad signing. I'm just saying, what the truth is. We wanted Isak. You can't disprove that. And just because I'm saying that doesn't mean I'm saying Gyökeres is a bad player. But it'll be interesting to see how he does. How can we connect? I'm on Twitter and Instagram. It's Miss Melina. But it's just football, strictly football. And please keep it respectful. But you can all find me on my socials at Miss Melina. But Isaac preferred Liverpool because we won more Champions League than you, and we've won 2 Premier Leagues, waiting to win more. I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think that's been the case at all. Arsenal didn't even try for Isak, and that's the truth. We didn't even tempt Isak because we know that was a lot of money. We're not throwing 130 M's plus add-ons close to 150 M's for Isak. I don't think we would have done that. We were after Gyökeres or Sesko because we know the Isaac price tag was going to be high. Do you think Gyökeres will come good for Arsenal? Yes, I do think he'll come good for Arsenal, but that relies on everybody stepping up in that midfield. Remember, Isak ended Van de Ven's career. He sent him back to Holland. That with is that with the dog? No, this is my sister's dog. He's a Samoyed, and his name is Zeus. I post him a lot on my social media. I don't know why he's barking right now. I think he's upset that I'm live streaming, but he's been quiet most of the show. Champions League is where you see the world-class players play, of course. And, sometimes you see even players have terrible nights that they can forget. Their worst nights in a Champions League game. It really shows you, the momentum you need in that. Great show, Mel. Please do more of these. Thank you so much, Lone Star. It means a lot to hear that from you and from Static. Thank you for your support. And Bargev. We would have never went for Isak. Too much bread. 100%. We didn't even tempt Isak. So for Gary, for you to say Isak wanted Liverpool, Arsenal didn't even tempt. We didn't even throw in the towel. We didn't do nothing. We didn't even try. So that's just my point on that. But Isak was by far best of all strikers that was sold, bought in the summer. 100%. Liverpool was Isak's only wanted destination. If Liverpool and Isak, if Arsenal and Liverpool were in for him, he'd pick Liverpool. Yeah, Arsenal weren't going to pay 130 million for him, or 150 million, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of the international break. Enjoy this non-FPL week until Saturday, when we're thinking about changes and transfers and potentially playing a wild card. I am going to wrap up the show. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I appreciate all you for your time. All my socials are Miss Melina on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram. I do connect on there with a lot of Gooners and even Premier League fans of other teams, even EFL, like Skybet League 1, Skybet League 2. So have a good rest of your day. Take care, everyone. Take care. Enjoy your weekend. The last few weeks of summer, I'd say, because it's starting to get cold and piss raining. I get that, but you're missing the point. If Arsenal were in for him, he wouldn't go if Liverpool were simultaneously in for him. Yeah, and it's definitely the price tag, a huge factor. I don't think Arsenal would have done that. Liverpool, hats off to them. The transfer window, they definitely showed levels. And it's also because last transfer window, they only signed Chiesa. They had a lot of money. And Arsenal, as we talked about before, really struggled to make sales. For me, the transfer window is a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 because the left wing situation was significantly not addressed yet again. I know you can say Madueke can play left wing, Eze can play there, but I don't think Eze is going to play there, is my point. Renewing Trossard, questionable. And then, obviously the sales, we're still struggling to sell players. And that's consistently been an issue with Arsenal. But I do think that's just the average fair rating for this transfer window. I know a lot of people would give a higher rating, but this is just my opinion. But thanks, everyone. I am going to close out the show. I do have to go now. Take care. Have a good rest of your evening. Enjoy your weekend. And come on, you Gunners. Thanks, Omar and Dylan, for the super chats as well. I really appreciate it, supporting the channel. But guys, you guys just tuning in and giving your time means a lot to me. If you're watching this on replay, I'd appreciate it if you check out my other videos. Do hit the like button if you haven't already. Let me know your thoughts on the Arsenal transfer window and what you make of it. Let me know what we did right, what we did wrong, and how do you feel going into the rest of the games with Man City soon underway for the Arsenal at the Emirates. And I'll see you all in the next stream. Bye for now.